Hello viewers, my name is Patrick and this is Space Engineers. Now, as some of you are wondering why I'm going over a ship I've already went over, well, I had a lot of feedback saying that I need to make the bridge less open, which was a big issue prior to this. After I posted that last video and on the workshop and the Reddit, yeah. So I changed a few things, primarily rebuilt it from the ground up. Not from the ground up, but I took apart the things I don't want to keep and put them together. So, I'm going to go over the changes real fast. First big change would be the power. This wasn't an issue brought up, but I was told that its Hyksos engine by a friend of mine wasn't as powerful as it could be. So I added in a few more artificial masses to help speed it along. And that's on both sides, so I did have to make the pods a little bit bigger than they were before. So the pods are about 20% longer than what they were, so it makes it a slightly bigger ship. One of the main, most noticeable things about it, even if you're just looking at it, is the change of the bridge. So you guys, on the last video, the bridge was up here, like right here, right out in the open. I changed that. The bridge is now on the lower deck, and now is using smaller windows, so that way you really have to be aiming for the windows in order to hit it, rather than just grazing the top. And that's not all to do with the bridge. Wow, I thought that was the door. Holy shit. Here I am getting turned around by how confusing this new ship is. Let's go ahead and enter. Everything's about the same. Door still opens. Blah, blah, blah. The ship is mostly the same. I'll show you the bridge here in a second. But I'll go ahead and walk you up here for you guys to see this area. Because what happened to the last area where the bridge was? Well, the whole gunner part's still there. You could have two alternate gunners sitting up at the top, manning some turrets. Or cameras or whatever the hell they want to. This place could also be used as a secondary bridge, just in case the first bridge gets destroyed. This one, yes, it does have windows, but it's also behind 3 armored plates in front of it, allowing you to be able to control the bridge from a safe area. The primary bridge, down here, looks all new. It's really nice. Still roughly the same setup. I decided to add in the 2 gunners as well in here, so that way the gunners can be able to do their job in coordination with the rest of the bridge. I did some work to make the bridge look a little bit nicer, and the weapon placement is a lot nicer too. So we'll go ahead and show you a few things. One of the main things I added to help protect the bridge is shutters. So while taking contact, I could drop the shutters and allow the pilot of the ship to fly by camera only, which is also on here on the first page, the front-facing targeting camera. So you'll be able to target stuff. I don't know why these autocannons don't want to fucking work. Hang on one second as I fix this autocannon issue. Okay. I redid the placement of the autocannons, so that way they're a little bit closer together. Any of you who saw my last video, which the link for the last video will be in the description, the autocannons were very far apart, causing me to do a lot of swaying motion in order to hit, which in my eyes was bad for business. The 25 centimeter cannon is still at a slight offset, as well as the 230 millimeter now, which isn't that good for business as well, because of the fact that now these aren't dead centered on and you have to do a little bit more aiming. But that placement was necessary in order for me to get the autocannons as well centered to the best of my ability. The rocket launchers are still relatively far apart because these are more of ranged weapons to begin with. And yeah, the turret placing's a little bit the same. I added a few turrets to the mix. I added a few more turrets to the mix, including 2 more 50mm and 2 more 25mm, removing the 23mm, removing one of the 23s underneath the nose and replacing them on both underneath where the rocket launchers are, so that way you're able to use them for both targets going low and targets going in front and behind. So just a little bit of placement issues that I took care of, as well as the bridge making it more protected. And while I wait for the ultimate opportunity to fight a target, which could happen anytime here soon, in the meantime, I'm just going to tell you some more changes I did. So a few more changes I did was I added more to the drop bar for the pilot. The co-pilot and gunners, or navigator and engineer, has to be messed with since it has to be messed with. It's one of those things that I expect the people assigned to those roles to mess with, because I don't know what priority they want to set stuff in. Because my main priority is fighting. That's a private sale, and I'm not going after it because that thing's not going to offer any freaking challenge. So the co-pilot and the gunners, navigator, engineer, that's something they need to prioritize. I have my toolbar set up especially for me, because I'm the only one going to be sitting in this seat, or if another pilot sets up, he might want to move things around. So it's a big thing. One of the other few things I added was, go down here to my cameras. I added a few extra cameras. Pretty much, you know, you have your targeting camera. Now, the weird thing with this cockpit is you can't really look down. You can't really see where you're at. So I have a landing camera underneath the underneath the front landing pad, so that way I can know when I need to latch on. Another camera I added in is primarily for landing and preparing. So we have a cargo bay camera. So let's say we're landed at a port. And at that port, I have to have the cargo bay open and stuff getting loaded and unloaded. And I'm not near my ship. In fact, I'm in the tower standing by. But I can still remote into my ship and see what they're up to. Are they loading stuff in? Are they just sitting around? Who knows? That's exactly what I had this here for. Another camera I added in was the... Scroll down. The main cabin camera. Let's say we get boarded and I go through my lockdown procedures, so that way, you know, everybody's staying where they're supposed to be. We're locked down. There should be nobody moving about the ship. But the boarders are inside the main cabin, and they're trying to saw through a door. Now, I could always have somebody turn around and take a look out that little nifty window and see who the hell's there. But let's say the person who's sawing through the door isn't in the window. He's at an offset like this, so that way the pilot can't look out of the window and see. Well, if he's standing at an offset, I went ahead and threw in the ability to quick check, see if he's there. It's nice, you can actually see my hand in the little window there. And yeah, that's pretty much the gist of the ship and all the changes. I added on a few extra things. The startup has been is a little bit nicer. The shutdown's a little bit nicer. The emergency backup is a little bit nicer. The turrets are all included. And then I added in this lockdown feature. Now this lockdown feature automatically closes all doors and then starts a 7-second countdown, well 5-second countdown to the lockdown 2 timer. And the lockdown 2 timer turns off all the doors. So say we get boarded or I'm landed and I can't take off and there's somebody trying to get aboard my ship. Well, I can activate the lockdown, turning off all the doors. So that way, whoever's trying to get on the ship actually has to saw the door completely apart and destroy it in order for him to use it. And yeah, that's pretty much the gist of this ship. And while I stand by and we all wait for the next ship to come up, fortunately you guys won't have to sit here and watch me do this and wait with me. I'm just going to cut this out of the video. So y'all get to have a split-second thing due to movie magic. Well, here we go. We have a military escort. We need to fight, so it's only been like 30 minutes or so of me just standing there. So let's go after this guy. Did I turn my turrets off? Yeah. Once I get within 3,000, I'm going to start hitting the safety procedures to keep myself from getting hurt. We're going to see how well this thing performs. I would want to go up against an actual military transporter, but we'll take a military escort. That's a good lightly armed, well, moderately armed ship. This will be a nice test shakedown run on this for this thing. The downside is I don't have my little brother or anybody here to man turrets for me and try and hit that thing, so I'm going to try and keep this thing at a distance. Now the trick is in an actual like scenario with this thing, we would be ambushing from preferably a asteroid or from behind some floating object. Mainly just because this thing is a recon ship, so it could pack a punch. It's just not meant for a straight attack roll. I went ahead and updated all the gunner seats to be able to hit buttons and access turrets. And I put them usually on page 5 or page 6 of the tool. Page 5 and page 6 of toolbar, so that way everybody could, every one of my crew could access the turrets and other important things like my cameras. We're getting within 3,000. I'm going to start hitting this thing. We're a little bit too far out. See if I can connect it. Oh yeah, dot's connected. Oh yeah, that thing's always shooting off in the middle of fucking nowhere. Here we go. Yeah, pick up speed, I'm losing them. Oh, there you have it. Alright, probably hit my engines. Alright, we're gonna pull out. Not too shabby. Yeah, let's... Oh, snap. Let's go ahead and get a damage assessment on that thing. Oh yeah, that guy's gone. If I remember correctly, I had half of it broke off. Yeah, right there. Yeah. That ship was scuttled. Yeah, there isn't nothing left of that guy. Well, let's inspect the ship for damage. And get to ending this video. I just want to show you that this ship took minimal, very minimal damage for a relatively... Oh, their stats are. Look here. Oh, it doesn't look like I've taken... It doesn't look like I took any damage at all. I think that guy shot a rocket at me and my turret shut him down really fast. Yeah. Yep, I shut him down really fast. Well, there you have it. The new and improved Cossack is a very good recon ship. And anyway, I'm Patrick from Amazing Picture Studios. Have a good one.